is Ashtar of Ashtar Command. We are here to serve all of you.
Hello, Ashtar. It is an honor to connect with you once again. Thank you very much for coming through.
It's our pleasure.
So I would like to give you permission to speak about a subject that we believe is very important, as I was discussing earlier with Erica. So please, you can go ahead and talk to us about it.
Yes, we are currently experiencing a very confusing time. You think your reality is only one, because you look at your reality with your own perception and your own filters, and you are the one who is creating your own reality on hologram. Right now, we are experiencing collapsing of the time. So all vibrations, all perceptions, all beliefs, everything is jamming into your experiences. So when you look at the one thing, you see your truth. And then when you look left, you see something odd in your reality or something you don't agree with. And we are noticing some of you are experiencing anxiety. Some of them are wondering why things are not proceeding the way they wish to proceed. Some of you are being skeptical about what you believed in, or wondering if you are in the right timeline or not. So we are feeling this is a very important topic to address, because the reason why the physical change, or sometimes you call as divine intervention, is not happening, because we are waiting for the level of light quotient to fill into or fill up to certain capacity. So we can call that as collective decision. When they are not completely reaching into certain amount, such as you have reached your collective agreement on the December 21st on 2020. For this shift, as the collective, you need to reach at a certain level. This is why everything is jammed into one reality, and then you are, in a way, some of you are forced to see what's going on for real. Some of you are really confused what to believe in anymore. Some of you are irritated because you envisioned a certain way to proceed certain events and they are not happening yet. So you have to understand this is the collective effort. It's not just humans who are contributing energetically, but we have a responsibility to lend our hand to your government. We're talking about a certain government who we are alliance with. And we are advising the timing for them to take an action, and that is not the time because collectively you aren't really there yet. So this is why we feel like this is very important for us to deliver this place to conversate with you and discuss what's the best way for you to raise your vibration, especially those of you who are listening to this message. You are having the responsibility to raise your vibration because you know more than others.
Right. So would you like to give us some advice for all different, let's say, levels of awakening in people? Because I've noticed also that even the ones who are in this for a long time, they are also a bit wobbly at the moment.
Yes, we have been suggesting to go within. That is basically easiest way for everybody can follow. But if we have to divide by level, let's say when you are just started to notice something is going on in your world, and then starting to see your version of truth, and then wondering what you can do about it. It's all about you have to be aware of your feelings. When you are passionate about doing your role, for example, as a truther, and then when you are investigating and reporting your version of research to others, and then you feel extremely fulfilled and joyful, and then when you're sharing your version of gift to others, you feel like your heart is singing. When you are such a person, we would say it's a very good idea to follow your heart. We are just using that as an example. Whatever the thing you do in your life, and then you feel such a fulfillment, regardless of whether you're making a big money or not, that is your soul calling. So when you are doing something like that, and then you have certain awareness, which doesn't necessarily mean you're completely awakened to who you are and to your authentic self, but you recognize we are all the children of the prime creator, and then you're here to serve for light. We don't like to say this way because this idea creates light versus dark, which is also blocking your ascension process, blocking the transformation process of this earth. But this is a level of thinking. So that's where you are at. You have to feel like you need to fight through to beat the other opponent. Of course, when you are doing something like that, you are also generating lower vibration, and then you are contributing your energy to existing such force in your reality. This is why we are constantly saying it's very important for you to have compassion and do not focus on hate, fight, and beat the other people up, because energetically it's not helpful. When you cannot do that, then shift the focus on to what makes you happy, and then in a way ignore your feelings of hate or you need to bring justice in your hands. Because that is not exactly your job to do. When the universe works in this kind of system, there are always cause and effect. And up till 5D, you still are either 3D or 4D. So this cause and effect will be working. So if you are waiting for some kind of justice, that is not your job to bring in, unless you are working in the law enforcement agencies or judicial system. Of course, you can always draw your lines to say, if someone is violating what you believe in, you can always say no peacefully. And then you can express your dissatisfaction by maybe not purchasing certain product. However, that's for the level of consciousness you feel like you need to take any kind of action to change the world. So that is what we are suggesting, because you're not really believing in vibration itself, only the factor of changing your world, which is truth. So when you are operating in this kind of awareness, what kind of vibration can you reach within your level in order to vibrating high? We would suggest hope, because you haven't really reached ultimate knowledge, ultimate understanding of who you are, your relationship with the Prime Creator, your relationship with this Earth and other galactic communities. So hope is the highest vibration anyone can reach. You don't have to have a religion. You don't have to even be spiritually super awakened. And you can vibrate in a high frequency by accessing hope.
May I ask you something?
Yes.
I understand what you mean, but I'm wondering if what you were trying to say here is faith instead, because I was looking at this word recently, actually, the word hope, and what I got as a meaning of this word is something that implies expectation, something that you expect that it will happen in the future. And then I was looking at the word the word faith, and this to me sounded that it is more, let's say, appropriate, because faith is something that you hold in your belief system as knowing that it is so, not like hope, because hope is something you are setting an expectation that might happen in the future. I would love your comment on that.
That is a definition made by humans. Hope is emotions every humans can understand. They have this innately within themselves. Some people are not having any kind of faith. Some people don't believe in God. Some people don't believe in religion. And some people don't even believe in themselves or others. Then how can such a person reach high vibration? We're talking about the common way anyone can reach in the most simple manner. That is hope.
Okay, so I guess faith is something that someone can hold where that is able to hold that vibration, that is reach their level of state in his awareness.
Faith is something you need to have to believe in.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are religious, of course, let's say if you're Christian, you can have faith in Jesus. But what if you don't believe in any religion?
Yeah.
You cannot have faith. That is very group-oriented consciousness. Faith can be strong if you have the basis. If you have a strong foundation of believing yourself based on experiences you had in the past, then it's not going to be shakeable. You're unshaken.
Yeah.
But not everybody is not like that.
Okay.
So when we are suggesting something to do, that's something easily to be done for anyone.
I understand.
So especially when you are in the beginning of spiritual awakening or spiritual journey, hope is the easiest way to access. When you cultivate your connection to the Creator, then you may change or uplift the belief onto faith. But even someone who is believing in, let's say, your religion, you feel like you're betrayed by God, then your faith is very shaken. When you are, let's say, spiritual, not religious, then you have faith in universe or how the law of the universe works. But unless you have unshakable awareness and knowing of that, this belief will be shaken when the things are not happening the way you feel like it should be happening, or when you are trying to manifest a certain outcome and it's not coming into your reality yet. So depends on how much you are being back into true authentic self. Faith is very tricky situation. You can't really expect everybody to reach that.
Yeah.
Some can, some can't. Some will struggle. So hope is the easiest one you can reach, and that's still very high vibration. That can be applied to people who you call as a sheep. Those people can also access to hope. Because when humans, they lose hope, often they would like to discontinue their life. So hope is the emotions they can easily access regardless of where you come from or what kind of spiritual level or awakened level you are, or even if you're not awakened at all, you can still reach there. So that is, we think, is the very important emotion to access or strive to access. That's step number one. So if majority of you, not just who are listening this message, but you as humans can access this level of vibration, your world can change tomorrow. Literally. So the question is, how can you access this hope while you are experiencing so many confusions? We are suggesting for you to be more aware of your feelings. When you are exposing to certain information, how you feel about it. Do you feel fear? Do you feel anger? Or do you feel excitement? Or you may laugh because this is so silly. Or you feel encouraged because your truth is confirmed. You need to be aware of your feelings and emotions all the time. And let's say when you feel extremely shaken by reaching what's going on outside, then it's a very good idea to go within all the time until you feel, okay, I'm okay to receive whatever comes to me from outside. It's very different from person to person, how much you can put yourself into so many information and then be unshakable.
Yeah, absolutely, especially right now because there's so much information coming in. And I also wanted to ask you a little bit about that, your perspective on this flood of information, and how can people navigate through all this without losing their mind, and also how to discern the validity of all this.
Yes, unless you are this truther investigator, that's their job to dive into and expose themselves into so many information, but that's their role as a soul. So they are very excited by doing this. But if you are the one who is listening to this, and then when you're overwhelmed by so many information, then you don't really want to dig through on your own what is going on, because you're already tired by encountering so many informations. That doesn't mean we are saying you have to bury your head in the sand. We are saying whatever the information comes to you naturally, that is the information you need to be hearing. You don't have to go extra miles unless you want to, and that makes you really happy. And then you feel urged to do so, then you don't need to do that. You can focus on your daily life to stabilize your vibration. Some people are immune to negative energy from medias. They are in a way neutral when they're hearing the news. But not many people are like that. They're either convinced by it or get sick of it. Either way, they are having a reaction toward it. When you are having a reaction toward a certain information, then it might not be good for you to listen all the time, unless you can keep being completely neutral. What we are saying is you have to be very observant toward your feeling. And then when you discover or encounter with certain information that you are delighted by it, then you can receive that with joy. because that information is resonating with your frequencies. But when that information makes you feel fear or confusion or anger or hatred, then maybe you can discontinue to read or watch that information immediately. And you can feel it right away. So again, you have to be aware of your emotions, how you're feeling. And discerning information is not as hard as you think, because information is not a person. So when you feel uncomfortable right away, you can stop. When you're having a conversation with a person and then you feel uncomfortable, you can just leave. When you are concerned about harmony, you may have to finish that conversation and politely exit yourself. But when you encounter the information, you can immediately discontinue.
Where do we find the truth in all of this information?
Truths are everywhere. Humans tend to think there is one truth. The 5D consciousness is about you are accepting all truth. There are so many perspectives and there's so many different ways of thinking, and then so many different kind of beings. Mm-hmm. So truths are everywhere, in every way, in every colors. So you are also learning how to accept a different point of view, which might not be yours and you may not agree on. But just because you don't agree on different opinions, you don't have to go fight and then hate the other being. That's their truth.
Certainly. For example, there is this big debate nowadays regarding this mandatory mask that everybody on our planet has to wear in many occasions. And some claim that it is helping, and some claim that it doesn't at all. So this is an example that I would like to ask for you, your perspective on that.
Well, there are so many ways to look at this issue. When we are looking at the vibrational level only, the first thing you have to ask to yourself is, how do you feel about it? Do you feel good about wearing it? Or you feel like you're forced to wear them?
Mm-hmm. Some people, I guess, they feel protected, they feel safe when they wear it, and some they feel restricted.
Yes, so that's a first indication you need to ask for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Then also it's very important for you to research, because you are living in the physical world. So even though we are teaching you about how to keep high vibrations, when you are living in the physical world and then putting physical thing on your body or on your face, you might need to do your own research to see if this is safe for you, or if you feel protected, how you can wear them in a safe manner. Are you using it in the most effective way? If you feel restricted, what's the alternative, or how you can express your feelings and not to comply with something you don't want to do in a legal manner. So you can do so many research and so many investigations when you don't want to do something or you want to do something. Some people may feel protected and super safe by wearing masks. But when you are using it in inappropriate manner, which may not be good for you.
What do you mean?
It may not be healthy. If you keep on using, let's say when you have hammer and then you don't know how to use them. You have some kind of idea, this is the way you can use, but you never asked someone who knows how to use it, and then you're winging it. And then you end up hurting yourself. So when you use some kind of tools or some kind of things, it's a good idea to really find out how to do things.
I would like to ask you this question, and I would love to hear your perspective on that regarding the thoughts that are becoming available now worldwide. If you could shortly give us your perspective on those, if you would recommend people to take them or not.
What is being available?
The shots, the vaccine.
We feel human body is created by the Creator to function in the best way against any kind of situation. You have cells and you have immune systems. When we are means certain beings in the galaxies who are still having humanoid bodies, we don't practice vaccinations because we know how to optimize the body in the highest way as possible. So again, it is very important for you to research on how do you feel about it. If some person is completely feeling safe and protected by vaccination, that person maybe create placebo effect because of the belief. But again, this is a test for the humans. When you are presented something from someone, do you blindly accept something without researching on your own?
Yeah, unfortunately, most of the people, not our viewers, but many people in this world, they just take what the mainstream media serves them, and they don't do their own research.
So we are suggesting, depends on how you feel about it, regardless of how you feel, this is the same situation as mask.
Yeah.
Do your own research. and then make a conclusion out of it.
Yeah, thank you. Would you like to share with us some additional advices for starseeds and our viewers in general on how to keep ourselves in a high vibration, how to stay in the highest timeline, and to, as much as we can, also affect the people around us, the people who are not there yet? How can we inspire them and perhaps even...
Yes, in order for you to keep in the high vibration, you have to keep yourself being inspired and keep in the vibration of being joyful. So you have to also be aware of what makes you feel joyful and inspired, and keep on doing that regardless of what is going on in your life. Of course, being high vibration means you are knowing who you are knowing what you want, you are knowing what you don't want. You don't really accept anything blindly because you follow your heart. And then you do your investigations to support your point. Even though you know what you want to do in your life, you need to explain why you're doing something to others. Then you need to, let's say, when you feel like you do not do something when majority of the people are doing, and then it's a good idea for you to go ask professionals in that field who you trust what they really think of your action. You may want to get samples from as many professionals as possible, so you don't really get the one-sided opinions. See, this is a part of the lesson for humans to expose yourself in as many perspectives or opinions which is surrounded by you, and then you can pick what you believe in. After you gather all information, and you can choose intelligently what you are resonating in. So you can do that. When you are completely connected with who you are in your awakening journey, you no longer need to get approval or agreement from other people. You don't feel like you need to convince anybody else. You feel, okay, they have their opinions, they have their own way of living, they have their own way of conducting to follow this or follow that. That's okay with you. But you are walking your path and you're conducting what you believe in because that makes you happy. As long as this belief is not hurting other people, means physically harming other people. Not all humans are having healthy belief. Depends on what kind of traumas and upbringing they have experienced. They may have unhealthy belief or habits, which they think is normal, but for majorities of people, which is odd. to them. So we are not saying as long as whatever is making you happy, follow that. We are talking about high vibrational individual. When you are vibrating very high and knowing who you are, you start to see others' freedom. You start to respect other people's perspective, even though they are different from yours. So as long as you are congruent with your own belief and your own way of living your life, you can vibrate in the highest manner. You don't have to go argue. You don't have to go convince other people. And then you don't even have, your ego is talking, all you're doing is making yourself happy, and that is not helping others. Because you are creating your hologram, your reality. There is no one else out there. You are responsible for yourself, for your happiness. So when you can do that without worrying about what other people think, or I need to convince others or change others, you can start vibrating without muddiness, because you're not really energetically dipping yourself into other vibrations. So when some of you who are at that level, we are suggesting to do that. Because when you cannot vibrate in the highest manner, you are not inspiring anybody.
Yeah, sure.
And when you are distracted by what's happening outside because you're worried about how they perceive you, or you have to change the world by talking to others, that is messing up your vibration. Unless that is your calling to do so. Mm-hmm. And by doing that, you're vibrating higher than ever. That's your calling. But if that is not your calling, you have to observe how you're feeling about anything you do. And then when you conclude your day peacefully and a loving manner, no matter what is going on outside, that's when you are mastering your emotions and the vibrations. Then you are inspiring others.
Mm-hmm. By being the example.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
By just existing.
Yeah. I love that.
So we are suggesting you can find your level of where you are at spiritually and pick the method how you can vibrate high. This is not about competition. This is about collective work. So it's not one method is better, or I am much more awakened than you. It's not that. Every one of you are picking the highest emotions you can reach and vibrating collectively, then you can reach your goal as a whole.
Yeah.
This is Ashtar of Ashtar Command. We are here to serve all of you.